Solicitor Dane Dice. We're going to begin tonight's meeting with a conditional use hearing. It was publicly advertised by the Director of Community Development, Sam Prokopic. The caption is as follows: Geosolution Storage Yard, conditional use CU01-25, an application submitted by Dan Ruffing on behalf of Geosolutions Inc., map block and lot 1095 J86 for conditional use approval for the accessory use of a storage yard. The property is zoned HC, highway commercial. Is the applicant here? Yep, Mr. Frederick.
Can you swear him in?
Yeah, please.
Sir, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Good evening, John Frederick with Civil and Environmental Consultant, Civil Engineer for the project Geosolutions. Geosolutions currently located at 1450 Fifth Avenue in the city of New Kensington. Wishing to purchase...
Sorry, John, just hit that green button. Sorry, Corey.
Thank you. Is it on now? Okay.
You've been there before, John.
I have, sorry, Dave. All right, again, Geosolutions, currently located in the city of New Kensington, wishes to relocate to the borough of Plum along Greensburg Road, specifically at 1450 Greensburg Road. This is the site of the former golf range and putt-putt area that's immediately adjacent to the Plum Boro School District bus depot. So with that, there's a 63-acre parcel that they're purchasing to move their facilities from New Kensington to the borough of Plum, which includes a 7,200 square foot maintenance building, kind of an outbuilding. And they're also, in the interim here, purchasing the office building that's sitting adjacent to and actually directly behind the bus depot. It's a multi-story office building that they are also going to purchase and move their headquarters to that location. And then we will be preparing a lot consolidation for both parcels. That parcel that sits behind the bus depot is about 7.8 acres. So in total, we'd be submitting a lot consolidation plan here in the future for about 69 acres total to move their headquarters to this location. Again, the conditional use is the maintenance building of 7,200 square feet for their vehicle maintenance. Geosolutions is a specialty earthwork contractor that specializes in strategic earthwork operations, slurry walls, soil mixing, bioretention areas, grouting, mine grouting, dam rehabilitation. So again, a very specialized earthwork contractor for ground improvement type work for site development and major infrastructure projects. So with that, again, their equipment is housed at a couple locations throughout New Kensington. They wish to consolidate their facilities at this location here with their maintenance provisions, as well as the storage yard, which is part of the conditional use process, would be adjacent to or flank both sides of their 7,200 maintenance garage. Real quick here for the conditional use process, I did submit today just a quick slide representing the potential development here, which we will present in more detail. We're in front of the Planning Commission for land development and then back in front of council for approval. Sheet 1 is just our title sheet. Sheet 2, if you can move on to the second, aerial image of the site. Again, Greensburg Road is the main Route 366, which parallels Puckety Creek, which is the municipal boundary. And then to the east of our planned facility is the bus garage for the Plum Boro School District. And then directly behind or south of the bus depot, that little brown building is the multi-story office building, which they will purchase for their corporate headquarters. And then the open space to the west of the bus garage is only about 14 acres. So roughly 1/5 of what they're purchasing of the 62 acres is truly usable. The area you can see is densely wooded and steeply sloped, which they have no plans for disrupting or removing any of the trees along the steeply sloped areas. So again, the development is confined to the lower space, which was once the golfing range in the putt-putt area. And then further to the west is some cul-de-sacs of residential housing, which we're several hundred feet away but we would adhere to the buffer yard requirements for outdoor storage, indicating a dense foliage of 6 feet high plantings combined with a 6-foot fence per the zoning code. Next sheet is just a representation of the 63 acres. The green line is the differentiating between what is the open space to the north and the densely wooded area to the south. The red is primarily just a long driveway to the storage facility, and then we would plan the outdoor storage to the right of the red facility there, the driveway, as well as the building itself. Moving on to this third, existing conditions, topography. There are several pockets of wetlands that have been delineated and will be part of our MPDS submittal, but there is no disruption or impact to the wetlands planned. All the development skirts around, and we're not impacting the watershed or the hydrology of any of the characteristics that feed the wetlands currently. Next, again, the extension of the driveway to the storage facility, and then planned to the right would be the outdoor storage area, again, to house some of their specialty equipment for their geotechnical work. Next, I think, is a site lighting plan that conforms to the lighting criteria for the borough. And then the last is a landscape plan, which provides some landscaping along the driveway and an additional buffer around the building itself. And the building sits several hundred feet away from the road, similar to the depth of the bus garage adjoining. So the use is kind of coordinated with the current land use around the facility. Again, if you notice, if you pass the facility, currently there's a lot of overnight trucks that park there, a lot of construction debris that gets dropped off and left at that facility. So again, I think the aesthetics of a cleanup and a redevelopment of this parcel is definitely overdue. And I think GeoSolutions would definitely be a compliment to the borough as they move their facility to this location. Any
Okay.
questions?
Thank you, Mr. Frederick. Questions or concerns from council? Anything to add from the planning department or borough manager? Okay. Dave.
Sorry. So I guess just for council's knowledge, can you talk about the existence of wetlands on this property and where the building sets? And I think you sort of covered it, but
Yes.
my understanding is the front part of the property is the area that cannot be used?
Actually, no, the
rear.
the frontage is actually very usable. It's the toe of the steep slope, as well as where the flat area. So as the steeply sloped area comes down through the wooded area is where the major pockets of wetlands. So I guess the runoff from the major hillside contributed to this. So there's some lowland that is south of Greensburg Road and at the toe of the slope. Again, everything, the drainage characteristics are actually water flows from the east, which is the west side of the bus depot, and meanders through the site adjacent to the toe of the slope. And there are some lowland areas just based on the topography. So again, there were some delineated low pocket wetlands, but again, we're preserving all those. We're not impacting, nor do we have a plan to impact as we move through the process with MPDS.
That was
permits.
my next question. It looks like you're disturbing more than an acre.
Correct.
So you'll be working with the Conservation District?
Yeah, those applications are in process and we'll be submitting for disturbance over an acre.
Thank you.
I got a question. Do you plan to connect the, the new building with the existing office building at some point?
Yeah, that's in process now. As again, we learned recently that they are pursuing the purchase of the adjacent, which I guess is a complement to the facility here, so they can consolidate all their operations on one property. But there is the proposal that it would be an interconnect. There is a long driveway currently that parallels the bus garage. Several years ago, the subdivision went through that created the bus depot, and there's a U-shaped parcel, and the office building actually has two connecting points to Route 366 on both sides of the bus depot. But there's a long paved driveway on our west side that we're actually going to connect to. It would make it a contiguous piece of property with an ease of connection between the existing building and the proposed storage area.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns from anyone? For the good of the order, any public comment? Seeing none, any objections to closing the hearing? Can I have a motion to close the hearing, please?
Make that motion. Second.
Let's go Paul and Mr. Purcell. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Okay, hearing is closed. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Was 1.5 inches.
Okay, we're going to call the March 3rd, 2025 work session to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mr. Sabosley, if you would, please.
Okay, the first item tonight is under Planning and Economic Development. It's a resolution related to St. John the Baptist Church. If you remember last month, we held a public hearing where they detailed their intent to install a temporary trailer in between the rectory and the church for office staff. I don't think there were any comments from the public. This has worked its way through the Planning Commission, correct, DJ?
Yes, the Planning Commission had 2 comments. I can read them in if you'd like.
Yes, please.
The applicant must apply for a commercial building permit for the office trailer. And the second comment is the office trailer will be permitted for a period of 5 years once a certificate of occupancy for the trailer has been issued.
So the agenda item would just be the approval or the rejection of the conditional use for St. John the Baptist Church.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, agenda item.
Item number 2 under Planning and Economic Development is a resolution related to proposed grant application. And Sam, if you want to come up to the microphone here. So the WRPP grant, we were successful in the past year in getting funding for that. We're looking forward to a 2026 project at Green Valley at their basin. We already have this project engineered. We had some monies last year to move ahead with the engineering. Do you want to explain the project, Sam?
Sure. This is in the Green Valley Estates Housing Plan. If you're not familiar, this is off Old Leechburg Road across from Greendale Village. It was a Grazinger built housing plan. There is extensive wetlands running through the main corridor of this housing plan, and then a fairly large retention basin that is full of water, full of algae blooms, and just really needs some retrofitting, some work done to this basin. It is quite extensive and expensive. This is not a project that Public Works could take on lightly. It will be timely, so it does require some additional engineering involved. Part of the MS4 permitting for the borough, this is a requirement to reduce load and sediment from the streams, and I think especially thinking about some of the downstream impacts, this will benefit some folks on Jackson and College and eventually, potentially Anderson Ave, with some of the uncontrolled flow and runoff downstream.
Okay, so the action item for council would be to authorize a resolution to allow us to apply for the grant.
Correct, yeah, I believe that with the proposed budget, I believe the request would be for $132,000 for the grant.
And the project is worth how much?
Approximately 160, don't quote me on that.
I think 160 to 170.
Correct.
Okay.
So if we don't get the grant, we have to do the project anyway?
Eventually, we do for our MS4, and just we've known about this issue for a little while, just trying to figure out how to pay for it. Our public works crew can do a lot of these projects. This one, like Sam said, is probably a little bit out of their range based on the amount of water flowing through there, as well as I think the depth of that pond.
There is a portion that the Public Works can take care of, which would be reestablishing the raw construction entrance, which is costly whenever you're looking at new material for stone, and reestablishing the utility drive easement and access route. So there's portions of the project from the cost estimate that we could potentially reduce the price by having the Public Works could take care of.
Who is the grant from, the state government?
That's correct, yeah, the CFA. This would be through the Watershed Restoration and Protection Program, which we have been successful for submitting through for the past 2 years.
Any more questions, comments? Okay, agenda item.
Very good. Moving on to personnel and management. We have 2 items that will be handled in executive session. But item number 3 on our agenda is a resolution for records retention. Jim, I don't want to spring this on you, but are you prepared to just tell council about this?
Sure, this is just annual routine maintenance. The borough still has an abundance of paper records in our storage areas, and we simply follow the retention schedules for each type of document as outlined in the Municipal Records Retention Act. So this is just a resolution passing which records various departments will be allowed to shred this year.
Any questions or comments? Okay, agenda item.
So we have nothing under public safety, Parks and Rec. Jim, I'll come back to you about Winterfest if you want to describe where we're moving with that. I can do it if you can't.
Yes. So Winterfest, when council voted on the 2025 Borough HAP schedule, was initially slotted for a 2-day festival. After much consideration and conversation, we've decided to pull back Winterfest to a 1-day festival, which will take place on Friday?
Friday, yes.
As opposed to the typical Thursday night.
Yeah, I think we at council had looked at the 2 days, and it was a Friday, Saturday, and you know, a lot of our vendors were indicating they were gonna have problems getting here for more than 1 day. Mercy, I don't know, junior council person, Mercy. I don't know your groups, you know, I think Winterfest sort of centers around, you know, the band that comes to play, some of the carolers, and I would imagine it would be tough to do that for 2 days also.
Probably.
Yeah.
But I'm also not involved with the dance, so I don't know.
You can still speak for him.
Okay, any questions or comments? Okay, agenda item.
Item number 7 is finance. Item number 7, Plum Boro Municipal Authority bond issue. I see no one here from the authority tonight, but the authority contacted me in late January to let me know that that they were going to approve a bond issue for projects. Howard Tice is the manager there, and his email indicated some water projects, some sanitary sewer projects, and they are now requesting that the borough pass an ordinance to guarantee their debt, which we always do when they go out for a bond issue. So their bond counsel forwarded to me on Thursday of last week the advertisement for the ordinance, which did run in today's paper, which would give you 7 days in advance of the adoption of that ordinance. But also a copy of the ordinance, which is very long, that goes through the borrowing and how it would work. I don't know why there's no one here to talk about that, but their request is that this be put on the agenda for next Monday as an ordinance to consider.
Can we reach out and have someone here? Because I'd like to know the amount that we're okaying.
I'm sure they'll
Because
be
I've
here
heard
next
several
week.
different
I mean, usually they come to both these meetings. I just don't know why they're not here tonight.
We're hearing conflicting amounts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Howard's email gave one amount, and the ordinance specifies a different amount, which I guess gives them some room to do other projects, but I agree, we'd want some clarity before that's considered.
Okay, any other comments or questions? Okay, agenda item.
Item number 8, it says garbage billing resolution under roads, equipment, and grounds. What this is staff has been putting together a resolution just to supplement the new solid waste ordinance that was adopted last fall by council. And this resolution would be specific to people who are requesting discounts, the snowbirds that go to Florida for garbage billing. So staff's have been putting together this resolution, and staff would ask that you address this at the meeting a week from tonight.
Okay, questions or comments? Okay, agenda item.
That's all I have.
Okay. I need a motion to adjourn.
I make the motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Midjourney. Do I have a second?
Anyone wants to speak?
Oh. Did you have anything you'd like to add?
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, I have a motion on the floor from Mr. Majernik. I have a second by Ms. Rossler. All those in favor? Motion carries. We are adjourned.